Welcome into the Beat Sessions, your place for all things music. I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. Let's lead things off for the week of October 25th with this new record from Soccer Mommy entitled Evergreen. This is the fourth studio album for Sophie Allison under the moniker, and her follow-up to 2022's Sometimes Forever, which I think is one of the best records from that year. And I would argue that Soccer Mommy, one of the most unique and evocative artists to emerge in the last decade. And I want to kick this review off by talking about her voice, which I think is gorgeous. And I think the vocal melodies that she has created across her catalog are incredibly captivating. And they're enriched by the fact that her lyrics are always so introspective. On this new album, Evergreen, we find her struggling with grief, trying to find closure and a way to move forward. And I would say all of that makes for what is arguably her best lyrical performance to date. She's always been insightful, even on her early stuff when she started off at a very young age. But I think the level and quality of lyricism here is just a byproduct of growing up. She's more mature. She has more experience under her belt. Unfortunately, in life, that usually comes with dealing with loss and dealing with grief. But when we find ourselves on the other side of that, we have the ability to cope with life better, and we generally have a better understanding of what life is all about. And I think she's really tapping into that idea extremely well on this record. I would also argue that vocal production is a huge thing. Bringing aboard Ben Allen was a great idea. He's worked with the likes of Animal Collective, Deer Hunter, Cut Copy, just to name a few. But the vocals on this record, they're so clean and they really stand out. And I really think they take front and center stage on this record. Some of you might find that a little off-putting. I know that from time to time, a little too much cleanliness in the vocal production can be off-putting, but I think it's better than coming off of Sometimes Forever, which that was my one beef with that album. I think that that beautiful voice of hers at times got lost in the production, especially with some of the more heavy industrial driven tracks on that record. So I think this is a good change. I like sonically what's happening with this record with regards to that vocal production. And I think musically, this is something that's very different than what we've experienced. While there's a lot of familiarity, what I love about her music is, two big things. There's this 90s nostalgia that I get personally from her music. She reminds me kind of like a grungy Mazzy Star. You get this muddied alternative element blended with this shoegaze element. And, you saw a little bit of differentiation on Sometimes Forever with the electronics, with the industrial element. And I would say that on Evergreen, what you're getting is kind of like an alternative Americana foundation. A lot of acoustic guitar, a lot of lighter instrumentation that I think enhances that vocal performance. It enhances that lyrical performance. And the other big thing that I love about her music is the way that certain instrumentation moves in and out and will take center stage as well, whether it's a bass lick, whether it's fun guitar play. And on this particular record, the two big elements that I enjoyed the most, I love the strings that she's incorporated into the sound. I think that once again, they really complement the thematic nature of this record. And the highlight for me is the flute element. This is something that is totally different than anything that she's done before. And it's just going to appear across this record. I love its ubiquitous nature on this album. And once again, I think it complements what she's trying to convey extremely well. I'm going to kick into this thing with the first track, Lost. It's got this simple acoustic riff with ambient textures that float in the background. I love the build that starts with the strings. The rhythm as the tension builds is just excellent. The music is brilliantly captures her longing and regret. And I think that just this opening track is a great way to, signal what this experience is going to be like, as any good opening track should be. She talks about how this was one of the last tracks that was put together for the album too. So I always find that to be unique as far as, tying up loose ends and opening them up with that. It's just a really cool way to lead off this powerful experience. M is your second song. Got this electric rhythm and arpeggiated riff that usher in a gentle but driving rhythm. I really like the movement of this song. One of the heavier tracks on the record. Love the role of the electric guitar and has this big country flair. I like the acoustic rhythm that's layered there as well. Coda is going to take this sparse turn, and she talks about that, how in this particular track, she just wanted to do something big, something different with that element, and it certainly is unique. And then you get this clarinet driven turn. And I love the way that the drums play into that coda as well. It's really well done. Your third song, Driver, has got this grungy, fuzzy electric riff that creates wonderful angst. And Soccer Mommy, regardless of what she's doing, always loves to rock out. And there are a few songs where she just takes full hold of that, full ownership. And this is one of those tracks, and I love it. I love the alternative rock side of this track. It's going to shift to a lighter acoustic feel as the arrangement progresses, and it just happens so abrupt. I like that change, but then it's going to slowly build back to that rock and roll element, and just a great blending of two moods on this song. Some Sunny Day is your fourth track. Got this breezy acoustic led arrangement, balanced with this psychedelic element. I really enjoyed that element of this song. I love the role of the bass riff on this particular track, especially in the verse. And this song is it's haunting, but it has that great contrast with the lighter clarinet element. Really well done. Changes is your fifth track. Got this ambient fade in. It's going to usher in acoustic guitar. Rhythm production is light, and it builds slowly around those textures. You get this prominent clarinet element once again, and it's going to be backed by lighter electronic guitar work, strings that take over in the coda. Really nice balance of the clarinet and that string element on this track. Your sixth song, Abigail, big drum roll to open. Got these driving, light alternative track here. Verses are led by rhythm and then complemented by this jangly pop guitar work. Really enjoyed that contrast. And again, that guitar play, regardless of what she's doing, what type of feel she's trying to go for, I think it's one of the things that she's always done incredibly well in her music. Thinking of You is your seventh track. Music matches the title very well. You get this meandering sense. It's kind of like when you're just lost in thought about someone. I think she captures that brilliantly. I think that the big shoegaze feel is appropriate for this song. And you get these jarring elements that keep you grounded. So once again, it's like sitting there in real life. It's like getting lost in your thoughts, but then, like a car horn honks and it just brings you back to reality for a moment. So I really thought that song was brilliant with regards to that. Dreaming of Falling is your eighth track. Vocal is going to match the guitar melodies in this sparse fashion to open. You get the light textures in the background to kind of build some body. The riff and the vocal find their legs and fill in space well. And I really just dig the way that the rhythm section enters on this particular track. It comes at a really nice moment to kind of beef up the song. Your ninth track, Salt in the Wound. Big turn in the energy. I love the riff and the dissonance in this opening part of the track. The verse settles into this acoustic-driven, angsty mood. I feel the tension build in her voice and in the music, and just love the guitar play that goes heavy in this song. This is another one of those tracks that I really enjoyed, especially given just the gentle nature of most of these compositions. Anchor is your 10th and penultimate track. Just perfect. It's all I can say about it. It comes right at the greatest moment that it could. It's angsty, it's moody, and it reminds me a lot of what she did on Sometimes Forever. You get this great balance of shoegaze with industrial elements, kind of alternative metal elements. It made me think of A Perfect Circle, like maybe 30 seconds into this track was the band that I thought of. And I love the string arrangement on this song. It's got this Eastern influence that I think is really unique for the particular song. And then your title track, Evergreen, is your final song. You get this arpeggiated acoustic riff and vocal, somber strings that work in sparsely. And I think that adds to their impact in the track. They take hold in the chorus. And again, you get this Eastern influence, but like a beautiful blend of Americana. I mean, they sound unlike anything that I've heard in a really long time. I think they're absolutely brilliant, and it's a phenomenal way to close out a really beautiful record. We're definitely going to vinyl please this thing. Love Soccer Mommy. I can't imagine her making a record that I wouldn't want to buy. And a solid effort. I can't decide if I like this more than Sometimes Forever. Like I said, the lyrical quality, the maturation, the sophistication there, I think makes it a top tier level album in her catalog. But the music, the sonic quality, that's always going to be up for debate. And I think that as an artist, it's fun to watch her, take different strides, take different approaches to creating music that stylistically is different, keeps us engaged and on our toes. And I will say that I'll give this thing a 7.7 out of 10. It's just it's a beautiful effort. And I hope that if you haven't enjoyed this record already, that you take some time to check it out. Please check out more album reviews throughout the course of the week. Like, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Help me do all the things to blow this project up in 2024. And stay tuned to Classic Wax Tuesday nights. That's at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will see you next time on the Beat Sessions.